Hello, 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 hi. What are you doing tonight? I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. I don't know how long stream will last. I have been hurting. You may know some not have a slight tear in my rotator cuff. So putting a lot of pressure and putting a lot of pressure on it. Like having to hold my arms steady and stable to paint. Um, does kind of start hurting after a little bit. Um, so we're gonna do what we can, and we're gonna see we can do a little bit of painting, um, and yeah. So hope everybody's doing well tonight. Um, so there was something I wanted to talk about. I'm just gonna put some music for this. Um, Something that kind of is close to home, and I think um, a lot of us needed to talk about, and that is November's Men's Mental Health Month, Mental Health Awareness Month, or whatever. And I bring it up because I, like a lot of streamers, have my own battles with mental health, and I know all too well, especially for those of us who are a little bit older. Um, those older millennials, Gen X, um, there's a stigma that comes with mental health. There's a stigma that comes with feeling emotions. And it's only through working with a therapist that I have come to realize that those stigmas are quite frankly bullshit. Um, I grew up in a time in which if you cried, it was unmanly. Um, if you showed weakness, if you showed emotion other than rage, um, you were weak. You were you weren't a man. You weren't worthy. Um, and needless to say, that's had its own caused its own damage. But I guess the point that I'm trying to get to is that check on your loved ones. You never know the demons that they're fighting because they may not want to talk about it. They may not feel safe. They may not feel like it matters. They may not feel like they can. But no matter how good of a mask we wear, those of us who love us can still tell there's something bothering us. Talk to your loved ones. Talk to the men in your life. Talk to talk to the ones that don't want to talk. Um, because they're the ones that need to talk the most. I I have grown up. I grew up for many many years putting pain and torment and um, a lot of negative feelings and just pushing them down and not allowing myself to feel them and understand them. And that's not healthy. It's really not. Um, Talk to the ones that don't want to talk. Make them feel comfortable. Make them feel like they're allowed to have those emotions, that they're allowed to be vulnerable, that it's okay. Because it's those are the ones that aren't going to say something. They're going to go through life miserable and tormented and battling with demons of self doubt and self hatred and regret and remorse. And they're the ones that are going to snap. And they're going to hurt themselves either physically or through self sabotaging action. And heaven forbid, they might even hurt somebody else. We have an epidemic in the United States with veterans. I think the statistic is every 21 minutes a veteran takes his life. Um, that's absolutely horrible. We we put so much pressure and so much stress on our own forces, and we don't give them the freedom to feel in return. Um, so, like I said, just check on your loved ones. Ask them if they're okay. Ask them if they need to talk, and make sure that you're actually willing to listen and not judge, because that's what they need. They need somebody to be there. They need somebody to show them that it's okay to be vulnerable, that it's okay to feel. Because especially if they're, like I said, the elder millennials and the Gen X, we weren't allowed to. And it's going to take time, but it's something that really, really needs to happen. It really does. Happy life starts with yourself. Exactly, Steph. Thank you. So now that that's out of the way, we start the painting. Well, hobbying really. Um, as you can see, I don't remember her name. This little one decided she didn't want to be on her base anymore, so we need to figure it out. And if by any chance I have any 3D model designers or model designers, period, out there listening, any of you who decide that the ankle or the heel of one foot and the ball of the foot on the other foot are the two 1 square millimeter locations to have to anchor a model onto a base. If I ever find you, we're going to have problems. I need you to understand that. This is the dumbest stuff I've ever dealt with. So now I've tried, as you can see, I've tried twice already um, to try and anchor her on here. I'm gonna give it one more shot, and then I think I'm gonna have to drill it and pin her on, and put her on something to pin her to this, because they only give me 2 square millimeters worth of space to actually like glue her on the space, which is absolutely ridiculous. How you doing, Steph? Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Responsible. Down with the first place. Makes Let the way stand fresh. She said. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people playing that recently. It's pretty. It's the holidays, so um, my money doesn't go to games. My money goes to saving for kids for Christmas. I'm trying not to slip, we say. She was touching her face. I won't be held responsible. She fell in love in the first place. The life I cannot. I just think that we will not. I cannot believe it. We were merely freshmen. I just think that wise and would never remember. So, so she's back on her on her base now. We're gonna give her some time to dry, and then we're gonna use some of this stuff. Um, what some of this stuff is this golden quartz pumice gel. I have added some some brown paint to, um, and it creates facing texture that looks something like this, kind of dirt. Looks like dirt. So then we're going to add some of that in there and see if we can't use some of that to kind of stabilize, like put it underneath her feet and stuff, and see if we can't maybe stabilize her with it. So, yeah. Da, 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 da. So yeah, see what people are on doing and play a little where everyone's meet. Yeah, I'm gonna try and paint. Um, Work was a little rough for me today, so I don't know. Um, I don't I don't know how much I will be painting tonight. My shoulders not liking me too much. So I'm gonna try. We'll try and we'll see. Um, we're actually going to until I get an actual painting handle, pill bottle. Um, these painting handle. Um, hey Tams, hey, how you doing, bud? Appreciate you coming out. So we are going to work on. I think it's just frog, if I remember correctly. He's just referred to as frog, kind of on the nose, if you ask me. Um, so we're going to do a little bit of work tonight on frog. Um, So I can't remember her name. Terrible with it. But we're gonna do a little bit more basing on her. Um, but kind of show it off. So we've got Megastun, and Ayla. Oh, I gotta wait. Calling the guys. Hey, easy, easy peasy. How you doing? Thank you very much, Easy. Thanks for stopping in, my friend. Keyboard's in a not the greatest spot. Give shout outs because I got the keyboard in spot. So we're so far where we're at, and this again, I'm doing this for a commission. It's my actually the first commission I've ever taken. Um, so this is Megas. These are my very first attempts. So be gentle. My very first attempts at cell shading. I've never painted cell shading before. Um, so there's Megas, and then we have I think it's Ayla. And then I think it's Marley. Marl. Again, I don't remember. Um, so there's the three that we got done. I do have Robot to this point. Unfortunately, I'm not happy with the coloring. Um, I don't like how yellow he turned out to be. So I'm actually going to go through and reprime, and we're going to do this guy completely all over again. I just don't like the way he looks. Um, he was the very first attempt at cell shading, and um, while it's not a bad attempt, um, I unfortunately I am a bit of a perfectionist, and I hold myself to a little bit of a better standard for commission work. So he's going to get reprimed and redone. And then I still have Chrono. We've got Frog we're working on tonight, and uh, Luca, 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 Luca that we're working on. Um, Whoever designed this mini, this chibi mini, um, lighting here sucks. I'm sorry, folks. Let me see. Can I adjust this a little bit? Um, Whoever designed this model, um, you can see, designed it so that she's in a walking pose, which is really dynamic, but it's the heel of this foot and the ball of the toes on this foot are the only two contact points with the base. So we're going to let the glue dry a little bit more, and then we're going to pack some basically homemade facing paint, texture paint around the bottom to try and see if we can't steady it up and sure it up. But tonight, the big one we're going to work on is we're going to work with Rogue. Um, and due to color constraints, I'm actually going to be using speed paint. I really don't want to, I'll be honest. Um, Problem is that I don't have any pastel paints. And um, my reference image for this guy is kind of a pastel green, and I really don't have a color for him. Um, which is saying something considering I have 3 entire paint ranges. I don't have a pastel green. Easy, do you have a good way of getting a pastel color out of a pure opaque color? So, so yeah, I think because this is kind of close. Um, this is still even a little bit blue for what I'm wanting. Um, this is honestly the closest thing that I've got. Um, it's either that or we just go over to Chrono and I worry about trying to do this guy later. Because see, the problem is like, especially on this many, like we're gonna use this pastel green color for just the back. Like the where's my pointer brush again? So this pastel green, I hate the lighting in this place. This pastel green is gonna be from this top lip, kind of here, up, not even in frame. Um, so kind of around here and then back. So like it's gonna be most of his head, but this part down here is gonna be white. Uh, and then he's gonna have like brown lines and stuff along his head. Um, but it's a sizable portion of the visible area on his head. Um, and so I kind of would need to make sure that I've got the right color for it. So you know what? I think we're gonna go ahead and put Frog down. I could work with the rest of his clothing and do his and everything else instead. Um, I don't know. What do you think? Should we put Frog down and work on Chrono, or do we work on the rest of him and just leave his head for the last? What do you think, Chet? You say Froggy? Okay. All right. So we're gonna work on Frog. Put that away. So easy. It's your first time in stream, so I'm not gonna take action against you for that joke. But that's like time outable offense, bro. That's just bad. I'm a dad and dad jokes. Okay, so we're gonna bypass his head. So that means we're gonna move straight on to his cloak and his armor. Looks like his pants are just white. Um, but he's got a lot of metal. So his breastplate, his shield, the hilt of his sword, pommel, and like the cuffs of his boots, it looks like, and his eyes are all the same color as Toriyama. And again, I'm not even in fuck. Because you know, anime and Toriyama. So, he said that your pointer, uh, cuffs of his pant of his boots, his breastplate, his shield, and his eyes, and a couple parts of his sword are all the same metal color. Um, and it's the same metal that's used across all of it. Um, and what I've come up with that's the closest, oh, and it looks like it's belt buckle too, is this green ochre from Vallejo's Flames of War line. Um, that's the closest for this weird orangish, greenish, brownish, I don't know, color. So that's going to be the color for all of those parts. And his cloak is just a straight olive drab. It actually looks like it's a little bit darker of an olive drab. Um, but darker is easier. We can do darker if we need to. But so it looks like it's not olive drab. This is definitely a darker olive drab. So we'll go with woodland camo here. We still need a. Oh, we're gonna have to go with. We'll go with army green, and then we'll shade it darker with woodland camo. It's not really too much of a step there. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So his cloak is going to be the ODG, and then his boots and his gloves are going to be runic cobalt. That's the majority of them. Most of them is white. Um, like I said, as far as the model goes, um, so his pants are all white. So his pants are white. Sorry, noob streamer. So his pants are white. Cloak and like his pants are white. His skin here is white. Um, and I mean, this is all his cloak, and then this is the skin pastel color. So yeah, a lot of just blocking. This is a weird kind of purplish color, but we'll figure it out. So go ahead and get started. We'll go ahead and start with the cloak. Um, yeah. Uh, for all of you that are in my channel right now, um, thank you guys for coming with hanging out with me for a little bit. Um, um, it's uh, oh, big patch for Eden. Uh, yeah. Make sure we get this mixed up pretty good because it's the first time I'm using these colors. Had I got this line when it first came out, like year and a half, 2 years ago. I haven't even touched a lot of the colors on here. I really need to get more adventurous. That's my sounds crackly. It's my. Do you still hear it now? Now? No. Yeah, it's my um Cortex mixer. Sometimes it picks up. The microphone will pick it up. Other times it won't. It's hard to say. What are you doing? Yeah. Skittles.
Yeah. And it's gonna be mustard. Friday night Skittles. Can I use your bowl? That's pretty golden chain. Get what I mean? I don't think you get it. As I was referring to golden.
No, I don't know, dear.
That's not.
There you go. The eldest child appears for food. Drive around this town. Don't chase us around.
Just gonna use this.
I'm out of practice. I haven't gotten to do this in a while. So I had a little bit extra time and I was like, I'll stream. Not a big deal. Arm was feeling decent. So I didn't think to make sure I had all my paints all mixed and everything. You said some of these paints I've never even used. Well, we're definitely gonna have to do multiple coats. Cloak here. This green is not liking going over white. No man, man. Hey, buddy, how we doing? I'm a little freaking. Then why are you here, man? I appreciate it. Yeah, it's like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning there. Appreciate the support, though, bud. Nap yesterday, overruled sensibility. Brother, I feel that so hard sometimes. I'm not trying to be 100% neat with this, just because it's such a pigment and it's not wanting to go over white completely. So I'm just trying to get a good thick base layer on. That's a bitch when those half-hour naps turn into 4.5 hours long sleep sessions, huh? So something I have learned, if and when I ever paint uh, cell shading again, it will not be over white. Um, just me either, to be honest. The only reason why I did is because I was watching some videos on um, cell shading, like painting cell shading and stuff, and they all recommended white primer. Um, and Um, so I said, okay, we can do white. I have white. So we did white. Um, and I've had to do more coats. Um, because it's cell shading, so you need that full, complete, like solid coat, right? Like, yes, this is my commission because I am a masochist apparently, and take my first commission in a style of painting I've never done before. Because that makes sense. How are things anyway? They're things, to be honest. Back at work, and it's not it's not the easiest. My shoulder. So what's going on is I have some fraying in my rotator cuff, in my right rotator cuff, which I'm right-handed. Um, so it's not a serious injury, but what it means is that if I use it, and the more I use it, the muscle gets tired very quickly. I also have a lot of arthritis and bursitis, muscle swelling, or bone swelling in the shoulder. Um, So if I use my shoulder in repetitive motion or lifting, um, if I use the shoulder, the muscle gets tired really, really fast. And when it starts getting tired, it starts to hurt. Um, and then it starts to get inflamed and then it starts to hurt more because then it's starting to push on it. The deltoid muscle starts to get inflamed um, because it's I'm pushing it. Um, so generally, like I'm at work. I work in a pizza place. I work in food service. So there's a lot of lifting, a lot of repetitive motion, a lot of doing the stuff that causes my arm to hurt. Um, so by the time I got home today, my shoulder was killing me. I took some painkillers and iced it, and it was feeling better. Just this little bit because I have to have my arm like tucked, and in order to paint, um, and to have that good stable platform to paint minis. Um, like my shoulder's starting to hurt already. Um, so like I said, I'm gonna try and paint this for as long as I can today. Luckily, I've already spoken with the person who gave me the commission. They're understandable. They're understanding. I should say, um, on how long this is going to take. I have surgery scheduled for the end of January. Um, so I just kind of have to nurse it along until the end of January when I can have surgery. And then once I get the surgery done, it'll be a few days of arthroscopic or orthoscopic or whatever you call it uh, to go in and just kind of shave down some of the muscle inflammation, stitch up the fray in the rotator cuff, and be done with that. So it should be a few days down, and then a little bit of rehab, and I'll be all right. So exactly, um, and with the shoulder and painting, it makes it really tricky. So I do what I can. I'm doing what I can. I got ads coming up here in a minute 30. I'm actually going to take the chance while the ads are going to go and tuck my kid into bed. Um, so, those of you who are here, if you're not subbed and you want to sub, I'm not going to tell you no. Um, you can use that. If you have Amazon Prime, you get your one free sub. So you can always do that. If you're not sub, you're going to have a little bit of an ad break. Feel free to get up, get some water, stretch, go to the bathroom, um, have a little emote dance party in the chat, whatever you want to do. Um, I'll be back in a few minutes to keep going. We're going to move on to our golden color, I guess. So ads will be starting here in about 30 seconds. So. Okay, I'm back. And so should everybody else be back. So, see if your years allow you to play violin with shoulder injuries. I hope so. Um, I know it can be a little rough as a musician to spend so much of your time learning a craft and then not being able to play. Then again, that could be said about pretty much anything, couldn't it? Ah, picking up the instrument now, huh? Bravo to you. Um, yeah, yeah, I know the feeling. Um, I bass player myself. Started off in regular concert band playing trumpet. Got into playing. Um, Switched over to playing tuba. Um, my in middle school. Um, Played tuba throughout all of high school, and uh, about halfway through high school, I picked up bass guitar. Taught myself how to play bass guitar. Um, yeah, problematic instruments. My sister actually, my older sister, uh, started off on the violin and eventually switched to viola. Um, so I did I did mess around with her violin a little bit. Um, but not a ton. I can say this much. I have certain levels of respect for people who can play instruments with a bow, because I sure as hell could not. Um, I, for whatever reason, um, I've done archery too. I know how to shoot archery, but for some reason, the arcing the bow to be able to hit specific strings, like you're angling the bow in order to hit the specific strings you need to. Um, my God, just miming it's hurting my shoulder. Um, my brain just could not wrap itself around it. Um, my brain just could not wrap itself around. In order to hit this note, I need to have the bow at this angle. Hey, what's going on, Mr. OMG? The OG OMG. Yes, yes. The supreme amount of nerdiness is happening. It goes. Um, it goes. Trying to get some work done on this commission because I feel bad because I've had it for long enough as it is. Um, but it's not one thing; it's another. Um, do you often use a magnifying lamp to paint? Yes, because I'm old. No problem. Thanks for the lurk, no man, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I completely understand. Like I said, it's what, like 4 o'clock in the morning where you're at, something like that. I appreciate you just stopping in. Damn crazy Dane. How about you, Mr. MG? What you up to tonight? What brings you to my small, tiny little corner of the internet? Chilling. Was like, hey, Sarn's on. Let's go harass him like he harasses me all the time.
Well, I appreciate it. When I get a chance to get to my keyboard, I will make sure I get you a shout out. But at the moment, as you can tell, my hands are a little busy.
And my mod is slacking and not here. Honestly, I don't stream enough to warrant having a mod. I barely have over 100 followers, so it's not really warranted. But I appreciate him when he's here. That's his boot, not Fun. Careful, Steph. You might end up being a mod. Hey, Winter Noon, thanks for the raid. Welcome, goons. Welcome, welcome. Bunch of gooners. I mean, wait, that means something different now. Hello! Raiders, welcome in. Hey, my mod finally decided to show up. Speak of the devil. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome, welcome. Those of you who don't know who I am Starn. Been on the road since one. What? For those of you who don't know who I am Sarm. I am a variety streamer. As you can tell, I paint miniatures. It says Froggy, Frog, Froggy from Chrono Trigger. Um, we're just starting out on them, so we're just getting some base coats done. I play video games, MMOs, RPGs, Sims, um, bullshit chat, explore nerddom in all wakes and manners of life. Um, so welcome. Hang out, lurk if you need to. Winter, if you need to raid and run, completely understand. I appreciate it. Um, your hands hurt. Have a good night. From Music Controller. Ah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's what you get for using an inferior piece of equipment. Uh, I'm sorry, I have to say that because Meg's in the stream. Um, but yeah, take a night. Have a good night. Relax, and still on the road for about another 45 minutes or so. Then I should be back into town. Where the Good night, Wonder. Thank you again for the raid. I appreciate it. One of these days, I'll actually get a studio. Where I can actually do this with some kind of semblance of professionality. Winternoon was playing Yakuza Kiwami. Okay. Winter being a gangsta.
Mig, you'll have to share at some point in time the reason for your random road trip and the. But if it's not something you want to share on stream, I completely understand. Plus, if you're driving, don't. What are you doing, dude? Get off your damn phone if you're driving. Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's go. Well, I think most people in stream know each other. Holy. By the way, um, yeah, so many people. Appreciate all of the support, everybody. So, OMG, what you up to tonight? What are we doing? You doing anything? You doing anything? Total War Warhammer 3, huh? Be honest, I didn't take you for a Total War guy. What faction are you running at the moment? Vampire accounts? I don't know if I have 3 or if I have 2. I know I don't have any of the expansions though. My problem all too often with games like that is having played the tabletop game, the kind of often it's kind of hit or miss on whether or not the video games do it justice. Um, I always played Isles, which is funny because now in Age of Sigmar, I play vampire kills basically. Here's a tip to anybody who's just getting into mini painting or wants to start miniature painting. If you're gonna paint, if you have a long haired dog, um, don't. The hair gets freaking everywhere. So stinking annoying.
And tonight we're just trying to get the base coats in and get everything kind of blocked out. So I can come back at a later time and I don't think this is it's kind of a greenish color. Aqua. I think we can go with the shield wall blue for the gloves. Little. Problem with having 400 colors. It's definitely too green. Yeah. No, we're gonna go with marine mist. Definitely closer. So we got No Man a Man lurking, watching some TV. We got Mig Wars driving. Mr. OMG is raiding the shores of Ulthuan right now, or are you in Bretonia? Going up against what's his face? Fair.
Never again. Never again will I paint a 3D printed model that is all one piece. Never again. Whoever thought it was a good idea to put him jumping off some rocks and style the rocks so you can't even get to the damn boot. Swear to God. This is another engineer versus mechanic thing. And if you don't know what I mean by that, go work on your car. $10 in, you'll be questioning. You'll know. You won't even be questioning. You will know. Engineers don't work on vehicles. And you'll question how they're making the money they do. Yeah, I wish I could take credit for it. I'm not going to. Um, there's another streamer, YouTuber, um, Uncle Adam over at Tabletop Minions. Originally pointed out in a video, it's what he does. Um, and so, I'll be honest. I've been painting miniatures for the better part of 30 something years, and I've never used a painting handle before until recently. I never felt I needed one. Um, but uh, as my age advances, um, I have found myself needing some assistance in certain ways to continue my hobbies. Um, and one of them is that I can't just hold the base like this anymore. It hurts my fingers. Um, so I had to figure something out. They do make far better, nicer painting handles. Um, Maybe one day I will get one. Um, Christmas is right around the corner. Um, but the nice thing about the pill bottle is that I've got segue to Blue Chew Head. No, not yet. Um, Thankfully, not that yet. Although, if they want to throw money at me for me to hawk their shit, I will in a heartbeat. Because I'm a cheap slut. Case in point, if you look down below, you'll see a link to Dubby. Use code SARN and get 10% off of your Dubby order. I'm sure you've heard of a dozen things out there like them. Dubby, Gamer Subs, what's it, G Fuel. I support Dubby. It's sugar free, all natural, and yeah. So there's my shill. You need some energy, go buy some Dubby. Yep. I missed the golden part. Oh well. Which is actually fine because my shoulder's starting to bother me anyway. So, I'm gonna put frog to the side. This is the other nice thing about using the pill bottle is I can just all these caps are the same size. So handy. Put frog to the side. Paints to the side. Get out our homemade texture paint and see if we can't shore up Miss Luca here. The girl. Can't shore Luca. Pack some of this texture paint around the shoes. I'm gonna lose a little bit of the shoe, a little bit of the foot, but since the stupid things don't want to stay attached to the base anyway, screw it. I am eventually going to go through and put a little bit of blocking and some tufts down to make it look like they're all walking through a grassy glen. As it is. So, see, we're just kind of packing it along the boot, kind of packing it in there to see if we can't, because unfortunately, whoever made this model decided that they were only going to put roughly 2 square millimeters of material as the connection point between the model and the base. That's it. The heel of one foot and the ball of the toe of the other foot. So this is my attempt at kind of shoring her up, so maybe she won't fall off the base anymore. Before I get the drill out and drill and anchor her to the base. So there we go. So now I think I'm going to move on. We're going to transition to do a little bit of gaming. Not going to be able to do anything too. No, actually, I've tried that. She still fell off. Because pain in the butt. Yeah. So we're going to put these guys off to the side. Just a second here, let me put some paints away. And let's see here. Get my phone out of my face. What do you think we should play, folks? Something chill, like doing some farm sim. Can get into some ARK. Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Not one that I have. Unfortunately, sorry, Mr. OMG, I don't have Hello Kitty's Island Adventure. Um, uh, you know what? Why not? We will play some League. How about that? How about some League of Legends? Let's get a little salty. Go ahead and turn the music off here. The Kitty Island thing. Again, I unfortunately, I'm sorry. I don't have Hello Kitty's Island Adventure. Um, you're just gonna have to live without it, I guess. Um, we're gonna try and play some League, I guess, maybe. Um, maybe not. We'll see. Why do I don't hate you, but you're asking me for a game I don't have. And I already said earlier in the stream, it's November. It's towards Christmas time. I don't have time or money to buy new games. Well, looks like we're not playing League because League doesn't want to interface with OBS appropriately. It's being a little drama queen, which fitting for League. There's no hatred. I don't know where you're getting hatred from. There's no hatred. I don't hate you. I'm gonna start the lurk then. You enjoy. All right. Go ahead and lurk, Steph. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and it's fun flipping you shit. I mean, yeah. What? Okay. You know what? Apparently OBS is just maybe maybe uh well, apparently OBS is just saying that I got to do this a different way. So I have to switch over to display capture, not game capture. And that's goddamn annoying. We'll play some ARK. How about that? Oh, maybe. Try to play some ARK. Oof. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I turned my BGM on. Is it super loud? You can never tell. Well, we got 3 minutes till ad start, folks. We are playing ARK Survival Ascended. Change game for Twitch, please. Oh my god, y'all are so needy. Stream information. Okay. There we go. We good now? He's acting like I know what I'm doing or something. Oh god, I don't know if I can play this. Let's get up in the air and see what happens. See if this kills my computer. Is it choppy for you guys too? Yeah, it looks. You know what, Meg? You're probably right. Hello Kitty probably wouldn't be choppy. Or Mr. OMG. You guys put that in at the same time. You know what? I am just gonna take this as a sign, and I'm just gonna call it. Because apparently my my stuff is not gonna want to cooperate, and yeah. So I'm gonna thank everybody for coming out, joining me. I know it's short stream. I can't wait to get done with the surgery so that I can actually spend some time on stream and playing games with you guys and actually hear, not so in pain and so tired. I really do miss spending time with you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and raid out. And I'm gonna call it for the night because my shoulder is really starting to bother me, and I need to go and rest it, relax. So actually, since I brought him up earlier, I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna go rent, and we're gonna raid into tabletop minions. We're gonna go say hi to Uncle Adam. And I'm gonna drop you off here, And again, I'm going to say thank you all. I very much do greatly appreciate you guys, even though it is such a short stream. I want y'all to know I appreciate your support. Again, I know I said something at the beginning of the stream, but it is Men's Mental Health Awareness. Go check on your loved ones. Talk, listen, let them know that it's okay to be heard. Let them know that it's okay to talk. And we'll see you guys next time.